Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Pipeline Podcast, episode 58. No, I'm sorry, 50 or 85. Going back all the way to 50. Welcome back to the show where we like to celebrate fandoms with positivity. Hope everyone's having a great day. Today, I am joined by no one, just me. Just me this week, chilling out, solo. By the way, it's been a minute since we've done a solo stream without a Taz, without a Connor, without a Three Doves, just me hanging out. Thought I'd take the opportunity this week to, without having a guest lined up, to finally rank the aliens within the world of Ben 10. A stream I've been wanting to do for a minute, but I feel like I haven't been able to, just due to the fact of don't have much friends kind of in that space, and I feel like there's also a hard one to have another person on, because if there's 80 some aliens and kind of your roundup, right, then you have okay, that's 80 both ways for 2 or possibly 3 people. That's a lot. Yeah, no, I'm super excited. I've actually been very excited. For the last 24 hours, I've kind of been I'm really excited to rank some of these aliens. But we have some people in the chat today. We have Mr. Jeffrey. Hello, Jeffrey. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having an amazing day. Hope you continue to do so. Mr. Daniel is in the chat. Hello, Daniel. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well today. Loving the stunning stream. Thanks. My brain needs to kind of I don't know how your guys' brain works. Sometimes my brain needs to see different things. If I had the same intro or the same start of screen for too long, I'm just I got a new one. See a new one. Daniel said, Lance told me this stream is a ripoff of Party Nation. Maybe. Party Nation was first by 8 weeks or so. So maybe, who knows? I'm glad to see that you're good, Jeffrey. I am very happy. But yeah, no, it's been a minute. I will say I'm always very I feel a bit naked when I don't have another guest with me. It's very concealing, I guess, to be oh, it's just you. There's no one bouncing your voice off of. There's no one to mask the breaks when you're not saying something. But we are going to be hopping into some news stories this week. Yes, we don't have anyone with us, but there's still news is still happening. We won't spend too long on it today, though, because I'm very eager to get into that alien ranking. So first up on our roster today, oh boy, the industry just keeps on pausing on. It keeps on pausing on. Kraven the Hunter and Karate Kid have both been delayed. 2 upcoming 2024 movies. One of these movies I was very, very excited for. One, I was not. Let's talk about Kraven first, though. Kraven the Hunter, this is the second time it's had a delay. It was supposed to come out last summer. I think it was last August, if I remember correctly, or it was last August, because they had pushed it back an entire year, and I was that's weird. That's a weird, I don't know, I can't believe how much they had pushed it out. And we had said back then, we had said on the pipeline, we're oh, they must really want it to be a summer movie. They must really want it to be that. And it was not. It has now been pushed to December. I think it's December 10th. I didn't look it up prior to jumping on stream today. I do apologize. But no, I'm excited. No, hold on. I don't mean that. As far as Kraven, I do think that's an interesting choice because December is such a big month for films. You have The Lion King coming out, and you have Sonic the Hedgehog coming out, and you have a lot of these big Lord of the freaking Rings. We got another Lord of the Rings movie coming out. So yeah, it's definitely a weird choice. I do think at this point, and this is a conversation we've had on the show for a while now, it's tough because I kind of think the Sony stuff is done. I think after Madam Web, they saw what's happening. I think they finally have seen the writing on the room. They're can we possibly salvage this? Is it at all possible to salvage this? And I kind of think you can't at this point. I kind of think it's a done deal at this point, unfortunately. And I think we're going to see Kraven come out. I think we're going to see Venom come out, and then I think we might wrap up that universe. I think from the timeline of things, I think Kraven the Hunter might be the last film in the Sony Marvel universe as we know it. I could see them maybe starting fresh down the line with maybe another project. We know the Spider-Man Noir show is coming out. We know that what's this coming out? The Silk show is coming out. We've heard there's like a Miles Morales movie happening. We've heard rumors of a Gwen Stacy movie happening. If those see the light of day, who the heck knows? But it's an interesting move for sure. And then we have Karate Kid, the upcoming Karate Kid film. And one of my most anticipated movies of 2024. It was supposed to be December when this had got moved to, and now it's May, which I do, obviously me and Connor had talked a lot about this for a while now. We're like, it's getting a late start. Can it still make that date? Can it make the 2024 date? And the answer is no. Which I ultimately think is for the best. Because when I think of Cobra Kai, when I think of Karate Kid, I don't necessarily think of like winter, Christmas. I don't know. I think the Karate Kid name is big. Like, I think the Karate Kid name is big. I don't know if it's Christmas big, though. I don't know if it's like, hey, let's all go to see Karate Kid on Christmas. I don't know if that's the vibe that they have. And I think May is a perfect time for them. May, it's not quite blockbuster season. We're just starting blockbuster season. There may not be everything out right now. It's not like a June or an August or something like that. That's very packed with news. Something a little bit more chill. I think we'll do well there. We had a lot of other Karate Kid news today. We had the teaser that had come out. We had some news about how they're going to be putting out the season, stuff like that. I do want to save most of that for next week, though, when Connor's here, because I think he's coming back next week, and I'm excited to talk about that with him, because he's a big Cobra Kai guy, and I think we'll have a lot of fun with that. Daniel says, not like Craven's going to be a good movie anyway. You know what? Am I optimistic? No, I'm not. I'm not optimistic, but I could see an alternate universe where maybe it could be good. Maybe there's a world where Kraven the Hunter could be an okay blockbuster. I don't know. I can't believe Ralph Macchio is 60 years old. Yeah, he looks great. He looks freaking amazing. I love Ralph Macchio so much. I think he's amazing. I'm so glad that after all these years, he's done 6 seasons of Cobra Kai. He's doing the movie. I hope he does the rest of the movies. I hope this next one does good. Freaking kidding, Cobra Kai, Karate Kid content. Yeah, no. Daniel says, I wouldn't be surprised if Miles Morales gets put in a new universe. That's not the Madam or Kraven one. No, I would agree with that. I'd be that'd be an interesting choice for sure. I almost think that's like movie suicide in a sense. And I mean, maybe not. I think that's what I would do if I was Sony. And again, I don't know how the rights work exactly. And maybe they're not allowed to do multiple like Spider-Man projects at the same time. I would pick, if Tom Holland is going to continue to be Spider-Man, if he is going to continue to play that character, I would pick one of the other Spider people, because you have a lot to choose from. You have plenty to choose from. Have them be the kind of center of that little universe over there and just expand that. I think Miles would be the perfect choice. The only thing I have against it at the moment is just the idea of, I think the MCU is kind of close to being able to use Miles. Like, I think, not to say that Tom's done as Spider-Man, because he keeps going back and forth to be like, I'm done, I'm not done. I do think that in the next 15 years, 6, 7, 8 years, maybe Tom would want to step down as Spider-Man, and then the MCU could pick someone else to kind of carry that mantle a little bit. And I think Miles would be the perfect person for that. So we'll see. It's going to be an interesting one. Connor, what if Kraven and Karate Kid were delayed because they are the same movie? Well, that's a fun theory you have there. Maddie, how's it going, Maddie? Over from Twitter. Great to see you. Good friend of mine, grew up with Maddie. Maddie, I still want to get you on here at some point. I'm going to make it happen. We got to do it. It'll be fun. Cast Darren as Peter Parker. I don't know. I feel like maybe there's better characters you could cast me as. Give me a Rhino. I think Rhino would be fun. Or like a Sandman would be a fun one. I would love to play Sandman. Give me Sandman. Alrighty. Next topic here. Scooby-Dooby-Doo. Live action Scooby-Doo series heading to Netflix with Greg Berlanti. Now, this was a fun one. This came out this week, and I don't know about you guys. I'm a very like neutral Scooby-Doo guy. I like Scooby-Doo. I've liked some of the movies. I love the live action movies that came out back in the day. Back in the day, that feels weird to say. But you know, I was never like the biggest and the biggest fan or anything. But this was very interesting because I always kind of, and you know, like we talk a lot about like these CW shows on here. We talk about how they go through their ups and downs. Like we talk about shows like Riverdale. But I always thought with like a good writing team and a good team behind it, like Scooby-Doo on the CW would have been an interesting choice to see. Like I feel like it would have definitely. Scooby-Doo always kind of gave me the vibe as like you're Riverdale and you're Nancy Drew. Like, wow, Nancy Drew was airing. I heard a lot of people be like, yo, this just feels like Scooby-Doo, but like without Scooby-Doo. And I think Greg Berlanti kind of being involved with this one, it scared a lot of people. I've seen a lot of people being very mixed on this, being like, Greg Berlanti, he's made bad shows. He's made the worst of Riverdale. He's made the worst of the Arrowverse. He not pitched, but like he was behind the like Powerpuff pilot that never saw the light of day. Like there are bad projects that he has under his belt. And you know what? That's valid. That's a valid concern that you would have. But also like, I feel like there's a lot more to go, especially later Riverdale. Like I think people forget Riverdale is the one I've been seeing the like comparison about recently, being like, oh, it's just gonna be like another Riverdale, whatever. People forget that like season 1 of Riverdale freaking rocked. That like the first season was like legitimately good TV, and I think people forget. Same with if you want to pull up like the Arrowverse, like early Flash, early Arrow, later Supergirl, early Legends, like those shows. Even as far as like Superman Lois, and I don't know if he was involved in Stargirl or not. I can't remember. But like he was involved with all of these shows, and like they have their peaks. They also have their low points for sure. I also think like I've seen a lot of people being like animated. Do like another animated show, and I'm always pro like animation. I'm always thinking, yeah, it would be best in animation. But I think Scooby-Doo is one of those animated shows that I do think can work in the live action format. Like I do think it can. I think it can work. I truly do. Especially when it comes to the human characters and like the mystery aspect. And I think if you're drawing on the drama of it all, I think it could be really fun if they dive into like, I haven't seen Mystery Inc. I've heard people love Mystery Inc. I haven't personally seen it. But like from what I see, like that kind of reminds me of like a CW show in a sense. Like it feels like the way they focus on characters and the way they focus on their back and forth and the way they solve mystery, kind of, I can see that being translated into like a 50-minute, 8-episode series on and Netflix, of course, as well. Like we're talking a lot about like the CW, but I think people are forgetting it's not the CW. It's not going to the CW. It's going to Netflix with a big budget. And like Netflix gets a lot of hate sometimes. Netflix, like, I think they get the short end of the stick, and of course, corporations, yes, we suck. They suck. Clearly, they've made a lot of mistakes with how much they canceled, but like they are still like regularly making good TV. Like I think, in my opinion, at least, what I've seen of Netflix, I still think they are consistently making more good TV than they are making of bad TV. So I'm very open to this. I can see this fitting very well over on Netflix. Should it be going to Max instead? You would think. You would think this would be a Max project. I feel like Max has not like done a lot of new shows. Like maybe I'm just not paying attention to Max enough, but like it feels like all their big brands, like yes, you have the stuff with DC, yes, you have some of these other smaller projects, and maybe that's their point. Like maybe they're trying to like think smaller over there, but I feel like they don't. I mean, you got Harry Potter coming up, and maybe they're just kind of focusing on what HBO is going to be giving them. I don't know. But yeah, it's very interesting. I'm very excited to kind of see where we take all that. Next up, we have the Mufasa trailer, which came out this week. I did a reaction a couple of days ago. I don't really like doing those too much because I don't think I'm necessarily that good at them. But like, we gotta talk about the Lion King. I had to include it in this week's episode. And I feel like we don't have to spend too much on this because I did kind of get all of my thoughts out in that reaction. And I thought that, you know what, transparency, I thought it looked okay. I thought it looked all right. I'm at a point with this movie, I think it can go either way. I think I'm at a spot with this movie where we've seen what it's going to look like. And does it look like what I want it to look like? No. I want it to look more expressive. I want it to look... I wish it wasn't live action. I wish it was an animated movie. I wish. It doesn't even have to be in that like same continuity. I would be very, very open to the idea of like more of like this Elseworld type story that's just animated, because I think, I don't know, I'm so kind of sick of the like live action of everything, especially when it comes to Disney. But like, I don't know, I there are elements of the trailer that did get me very excited. Like, I love the music that they used. I love Barry Jenkins. I'm very excited for. I am so hyped that Lin is doing the music. Like, I think Lin gets a lot of hate these days when it comes to like Disney. Like, Scuttlebutt came out, like had the Scuttlebutt thing last year. People were like, no, this is bad. This is a bad song. And I would be like, valid. That's a valid opinion. It's not a great song. It's not. But I think like his track record for Disney is so absurd. Like Moana and Encanto and The Good That Is the Little Mermaid and Mary Poppins. And of course Hamilton and everything that he does. I think like the track record is far in his favor than it is against it. And songs are going to be a banger. I have no doubt. And I think they knew that. I think Disney knew, especially the controversy when it came to things like Be Prepared with the 2019 movie. I think they know the legacy of Lion King. Or at least they do now after the 2019 movie. I think they know how important the music is to a film like this. And how you have to get that right. And I think I think Lin's a safe bet. It's just like, yeah, he's going to get bangers. He's going to have those earworms. Earworms is what Lion King is known for. Like, that's a great choice. The like changing of continuity with it all, I think is an interesting choice for sure. But you know what? I'm open for it. I'm open for it. I'm open to see what they're doing here and to see what we got in store with this one. Maddie, I'm very glad you're doing well. We have to text soon. It's been a minute. We gotta do something. But it's amazing seeing you. Absolutely. Alrighty. And last up on our news cycle for the week. I know we're going through these fast. Having one person going through news really fast. Captain America 4. Oh my beloved. I don't know what's going on. Captain America 4. I want Captain America 4 to be good. I want it to be a movie that we can support and love, but I think, with all the controversies, with all the reshoots, with all the pushbacks, I'm very worried about this movie. I am genuinely just nervous about what this movie has in store. And McDonald's, which was not expecting to talk about McDonald's today, but here we are anyways. McDonald's merchandise for Captain America 4 confirms characters like the Red Hulk. So we had saw this like almost like a month ago at this point. Like there is like these leaked McDonald's boxes with the toys of the film. And I saw those and I was like, all right, I don't want to talk about this yet because this could be fake, this could be doctored. But like quite literally 3 days ago at work, I literally saw the McDonald's box. Someone had purchased this McDonald's set and they threw their box away. And it did, in fact, feature characters like Sam Wilson and the Red Hulk. Um, so what I think happened here, what I think ultimately happened, seemingly, was when it was supposed to come out in May, when it was supposed to come out early in 2024, they just didn't cancel the McDonald's thing, or maybe you just couldn't, like, it's impossible to change the McDonald's schedule, and that's why it's all coming out now. I think it's interesting. I think the reason I wanted to bring it up is just like the confirmation of Red Hulk in Captain America 4. We all theorized it. We practically knew, like we've been saying since day one, since Harrison Ford was kind of back in the running for Captain America 4 as like that Roth character. We're like, maybe finally get the Red Hulk. Maybe we can finally do that. And I'm happy about that. I'm very curious to see what Harrison Ford does with the Red Hulk character. I'm so excited to see that press. Just people being like, yo, what's your thoughts on being like the Red Hulk? And they'll be like, what are you talking about? What do you mean? But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. It is frustrating because it's very crazy that we have the trailer for the McDonald's toys Captain America 4 before we ever even get like a teaser for the actual Captain America 4. But inherently pretty soon, I would assume, like we should be getting like teasers soon because it's February, which like, yes, is a while away, but that's like 8 months out. So like, we're not like incredibly far away from Captain America 4. And obviously the Deadpool 3 marketing is going to be the main product. Like we're really seeing it now. Like photos are being put out, things are being said, marketing has begun for that movie, and that makes me very, very excited for the just kind of the future of Marvel and Deadpool 3 and all that excitement. Benjamin is here. How's it going, Benjamin? Crazy name like always, but I respect it. I respect the name. Yeah, that's it. That's our news stories for today. That means we're done? No, does not mean we're done. Not even close. We got a doozy. Y'all, we have a doozy on our hands today because we are ranking Ben 10 aliens. Yeah, Benjamin, I mean, you're in for a treat because we're ranking your aliens. It's crazy. No, I mean, it's no secret. Like, I love Ben 10. It's probably my favorite show. One of my favorite shows ever. I love that show so much. And I've been wanting to do like a re-ranking of the seasons for a while now. Or not seasons, I'm sorry. Of the aliens for a while now. Because I think, like, my taste... Because I feel like my favorite aliens as a child and then my favorite aliens now have changed quite a bit since I watched the show as a child. Like, there's aliens that I loved then that I don't love as much now. And there's aliens I didn't love then that I love now. And I really wanted to do a re-ranking of that now that I'm a bit older. I've rewatched the show a bunch of times by this point, and I think we're gonna have a fun time here. I think it's gonna be fun. I'm excited. So yeah, we're gonna be pulling up our ranking here really, really quickly. And as we go through this, I do really want to hear everyone else's ranking. As we go through this, I want to hear where you guys would put each alien, where you think you would put it. Do you agree with my rankings? If you don't, would love to hear why. Would love to hear where you would put all of these different aliens and such. And I'll be honest, like, I changed when I wanted to do the stream because I actually did really want to take my time with this. Like, I'm kind of just wanting to chill and rank them with y'all and have fun and, you know, not too stressed on the time limit of everything and just chill and talk about some Ben 10 aliens for a couple hours probably. So I'm in for the long haul. Let's just get into it. Let's get in. Let's go. We have a lot to get through today. Let's scroll down a little bit. Actually, let's do. Can I zoom in at all? Can I zoom in at all? No, I don't think that works. Let's zoom back out. All right, we're gonna start with the classics. We got a lineup of classic Ben 10 aliens here. I like classic. If we're just talking about Ben 10 classic, I feel like classic isn't my favorite. I'm gonna be completely real. I feel like classic includes some of my biggest Ben 10 hot takes as far as like the alien placement of everything and kind of where everything sits. I have some hot takes. There are aliens in this list that are going to get me some boos. Y'all are going to boo at some of my opinions on classic Ben 10 aliens. But without further ado, let's hop in. So first up here, we have Heat Blast. Now, BOG, the Golden Goose, arguably the icon of the entire franchise, is heads is on Heat Blast. Like, for many, when you think of the series as a whole, you're thinking of Heat Blast and what he offers to the Ben 10 world. And, you know, a Pyronite, very powerful. I would say one of the highlights of Ben 10 Classic. I really like Heat Blast. Now, for many, I think Heat Blast would be an S tier alien, and I would say that's very valid. I think Heat Blast deserves that. I am not including him in S, though. I don't think, for me, he's quite an S tier alien. For no specific reason. I think S are just, like, S gives me a feeling. Like, I feel like... take that out of context. I feel like I just got a nudge about, like, what an S tier alien is. And when I see them, I'm like, yes, they're an S tier alien. Heat Blast, for me, is not an S tier. And I think you'll see kind of what I mean when I say that once we get to some S tier aliens. I don't think... And I feel like maybe if we got a bit more of Heat Blast, maybe... It feels weird to say that because of how much he's used in Classic. Like, he's like the Golden Goose in Classic. But for now, I am putting Heat Blast. We're starting off. I think that's a very strong start. Heat Blast an A. And let me know where you'd put Heat Blast. And again, let me know where you'd put all these guys. Up next, we have Wild Mutt. And oh boy, Wild Mutt, I'm so sorry you're up second. Because I feel like Wild Mutt might move. Like, I think we need to establish where in the rankings we're at. Like, I feel like the first several are always quite hard because you don't quite know where each alien is going, like what each tier kind of means in the context of what you're ranking. Like, I feel like a C in another ranking could be different to a C here, or whatever. I'm not a Wild Mutt guy. I am not a huge fan of the Mutt. I always thought he was one of the more boring classic aliens. Like, when you're looking at the roundup of aliens that you have, like, you have a big rollerball, you have a diamond guy, you have a speedster, you have a fireman, like, you have a mutated fish, and then, like, you got a dog. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like he's the most... I don't want to say boring. Boring seems mean. But he's boring. I think Wild Mutt's really boring. I think whenever he shows up, like, even in, like, later seasons, like Ultimate Alien and stuff like that, in, like, Omniverse, it's like, oh yeah, it's him. We know him from Classic. And I think there's always, like, a novelty to, like, the classic aliens that didn't get much screen time popping up again, like your Wild Mutt and your Ditto and your Eye Guy and stuff like that. Does he deserve D, though? Does Wild Mutt deserve a D? And I'm going to say, for now, I'm putting him in C until I establish what fully means. Oh, doop-a-doop. Oh, we're back. Hippity hey. Hope that doesn't come up in the edit. Or maybe it does, and I look really silly right now. Next up, we have a Ghost Freak. Oh boy, our greeny ghost. I feel like Ghost Freak is hard. Because I feel like I have to measure Ghost Freak. Because I think the scare makes Ghost Freak cooler. Like, the concept of his episode his episode is still, in my opinion, one of the best episodes of the entire show. Like, the classic episode. Easily a top 5 classic episode, but I think, like, in general, probably, like, maybe top 10 Ben 10 episodes in general. Like, I think that episode's incredible. Such a fun concept of, like, a living soul getting trapped in the Omnitrix and, like, possessing Ben. Obviously, the alien this would happen with would be Ghost Freak. It makes so much sense. He's a very cool alien. Like, I'll give it to Ghost Freak. The issue with Ghost Freak is just his, like, time. He doesn't get the time to shine. He doesn't get the moments to shine like a lot of classic does. Like, he's in the limited episodes of season 1. He gets out of there in season 2. You know, he's not in the rest of the show. He's not really in Ben 10 Alien Force. He's not. One episode, kind of, when Ben turns into Ghost Freak, if you will. I don't think we see him again for the rest of it. Don't think we see him through all of Ultimate Alien. A little bit in Omniverse. Like, the most little of Omniverse. I don't know. I'm thinking, you know what? Because you are cool. Because I think Ghost Freak is 10 times cooler than Wildcat right now. I will for now put you in B. I will put you in B for now. And yeah. And again, we'll see kind of where we land as we kind of go down on this list. Next up we have Shiro, aka Ben Mummy. Ben, I'm just calling him Ben Mummy because I feel like that's the easier way to go about it. But Shiro, however you say it. This one's tough. I do not care about this alien. I feel like there's not many I hate. I think you're going to see that very quickly. There's not many aliens that I would say I like dislike within this show, and I think we're going to be getting a lot of A's and a lot of B's as we kind of go through this. I think he's a D. If we're just kind of going down on that list, like furthering kind of what each category is, I don't like this guy. I think he's easily the most boring out of all the villain aliens. I think he's the most bland. I think he's the one that just, to me, doesn't feel like I think he's kind of one of the more silly aliens. It's just like, and you know, this is coming from someone who loves blocks, so I probably don't have much of a room to say. I don't think he has the sauce. He's not doing much. And again, doesn't help that he's not in the show much, right? He's like, even I think he's in less than Ghost Freak, you know, like he has a couple appearances, 2 or 3 appearances in classic, 2 or 3 appearances in Omniverse. Like, he's in the trailer for Ultimate Alien, doesn't appear at all. Like, he's just not a lot going for him, I fear. And especially when I think a lot of the monster aliens are better than him. I definitely don't think helps his case, in my opinion. Doesn't help his case. Doesn't do it. So sorry. Next up, we have the cannon bolts. Now, in my opinion, and I think very few people would disagree with me, Cannon Bolts is our first S-tier alien. He gets all the way up there. My boy Cannon Bolts. I love me some Cannon Bolts. I think, you know, Cannon Bolt just has the sauce. I think Cannon Bolt is just something so cool. This living cannonball, armadillo type creature. Every time he's on scene, you're happy. Like, I think, and he's one of the rare aliens that's in, like, all of it. Like, he is a prominent figure in every single, I think he's the only, correct me if I'm wrong, I think he's the only alien that is a prominent role in every single Ben 10 show. And that has to add for something. That has to do something for him, right? I'm trying to think, like, Diamond Head wasn't an Ultimate Alien. Like, I'm trying to I can scroll through here. I think he's the only one. Way Big, I guess, is the other one that you can give a shout out to. But no, not really, because he came in at the very end of Classic, so I don't even know if that counts for him. Yeah, I think that's it. So shout out to Cannibal for being just that guy. For just being like that guy. So cool. We'll talk about Ultimate Cannibal later. We have the Ultimates at the very bottom, y'all, so we can talk about them later. Because, oh boy, that's going to be a doozy to talk about. Alright, next up we have Wild Vine. And, Wild Vine. I feel like Wild Vine and Ben Mummy, as you will, kind of run in the same boat. I think they're kind of like in the same, power-wise. He appeared in Classic Season 2? Season 3? I think it was Season 2. It was the end of Season 2, right? And, I think he's another one that I think would really benefit with more screen time. I think when he's in Classic, when he's like utilized, he's really cool. I think having the plant powers, being able to like control the plants, I think his little like bombs are really, really cool. I think I think he's just shorted by not having more, not getting more. And I think they try it again in Omniverse. I think they try their best to kind of reutilize him as a member of the Arsenal. I don't think it works that well though. I don't think they. I don't know. I don't hate him. I also don't love him. So I'm going to put him in C with Wildman. I think he's there. I think he's cool. I think he has his moments. And if they ever do a new show, I'd love to see them really utilize him in a better way, I think. Next up, we have Diamond Head, which we got to do it. We got to do it. Him and Cannibal, I think, are like... And one other. Him, Cannibal, and one other, I think, are the GOATs of Classic. I think they are the best of the best. There's a reason why they both come back for Alien Force, why they're the two more prominent... Classic returning aliens, Upchuck as well, but like those two were like the figures because they fit in any area they're in. I know Diamond Head takes a break in Ultimate Alien, but he just comes back so strong in Omniverse. And I mean, he's the one that was able to single-handedly take on Vilgax. I think he's such like his power set is so interesting. Like I feel like there's not other like. You have in superhero media, like you have forearms, and you have the strong guy, you have ice, you have water, you have ice, you have electricity, and you have super speed, and I think just like there's an originality to Diamond Head that is so cool. He's the star of the pilot of Ben 10, if you think about it. Like a lot of people would say Heat Blast because that's the most iconic part of the episode, and I'd be like, yeah, that's fair. But also, like, he was the one to take down the giant robot at the end. Like, he was the finisher of the episode. He was a GOAT from day one, and I don't know. I don't think there's really anything else we have to say at this point, unless just, like, Diamond Head, Cannibal, they are very cool. Forgive me. I always forget how, like, straining it can be by yourself, just talking, just going out there and chatting, but no one else to kind of pitch their voice. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna do that for by the way. I'm just gonna take a chug of that water every once in a while. Accelerate. Oh boy, I do love me some Accelerate. I do love Accelerate. I think Accelerate's very cool. I think we're just going to throw Accelerate in A tier. Yeah, I am feeling the A tier. I don't know what else to say. I feel like I don't feel strong either way about it. No, what am I doing, S tier? I don't feel, like super strong about Accelerate. I feel like I could justifiably put him in B, but no, I think he's cool. Especially, here's what I think comes up with Accelerate, is I think the more time goes on, the slightly less cool he goes. Like, the more we get, the more, the cooler aliens we get later on in the series, but I think in Classic, he's the GOAT. He really is. He's one of the MVPs. And for me, he doesn't quite sing S tier, but he's a cool one. And it's always really fun. And I think Ben 10 did a really good job at, like, how it utilized its speedster fights. Like, I think it used it. It didn't feel like... I think they managed to speed very funly. Like, we talked about the Flash a lot on the show. We talk about, like, how speedsters are done, and to me, like, Accelerate never feels like unstoppably fast. Like, oh, how can he ever have an issue when he can go that fast? Like, I think it's still moderately fast. Like, it still feels like you can kind of see him. Like, it's not like faster than the speed of light type fast, it's like moderately fast, and I think with that they're able to have a lot of fun fight scenes with him that are just a lot of fun. But yeah, A is solid for him. I think I like A. Next up we have a Gray Matter. Our Galvin representation of the stream. Gray Matter. Man, I feel like Gray Matter's cool. He's cool. I think just like Gray Matter gets cooler as you go on in the series, I think. As you get Azimuth within the show. I think I enjoy Azimuth more than I've ever enjoyed Ben as Gray Matter. Unironically, I think my highlight of Gray Matter is the movie, is Race Against Time, when we have the really weird, janky CGI, and he's going through the like diner, and he's getting he's messing up all like the kids. Like, that's fun. His solo episode in like season one, I think season 2, something like that. I love that episode. I think that's a very fun episode of Classic. I think, when Gray Matter got to shine is pretty cool. How we utilized it in that Tetrax episode in season 1, also very cool. They tried to like reutilize Gray Matter in Omniverse, and I'll be honest, I think like with such a cool lineup, they didn't really work that well for me. Like, kind of was just like, alright, it's whatever. It's, you were trying, but like it was always whatever. I'm never like super hyped, and I think that's kind of like my metric here. If I'm like super hyped when an alien comes on screen, and I don't get hyped when I see Gray Matter on screen. But I definitely like him more than Wildma. I like him more than Wildvine. I just realized both of our wilds are in C. That's pretty wild, if you ask me. I think Gray Matter can sit pretty freshly with Ghost Freak. And you know what? To the point, I will even put him above Ghost Freak, because I think he deserves that spot above Ghost Freak. I think he's just earned more of a spot there. He put in his time. He is like Azimuth is like, he was a representation of the Omnitrix. But he can't go any higher than B, in my opinion. He just can't. He can't do it. Next up, we have the forearm. And this is when the hot takes start coming. This is where it is. Forearms, arguably the second golden goose of Ben 10 Classic, I'd say. Heat Blast, I'd say Forearms, and the number 3 I'd say would be Accelerate. Those are the golden geese. Those are the things you think about when you think about Ben 10 Classic, if you will. I think that Forearms is easily the most overrated Ben 10 alien. I do not mess with Forearms. I do not like Forearms. And okay. Let me settle down. I don't dislike Forearms. I feel like he is fine. I feel like probably by definition, he is a C for me. I think he's fine. He is, and I think very similarly to Wildmutt, he's just like, such a boring option when he's going for a Ben 10 alien. You know what I mean? Like, he's a guy with arms. He's super strong, he's a guy with arms. Yes, he's red, but like, I don't know. And listen, like, I can't discredit Forearms and his feats. Very good episode. Very good episodes with Forearms. And, you know, to the point, maybe he deserves to get up to B. Maybe he does deserve a point upwards. Maybe he exists in areas like Ghost Freak and Gray Matter. And to that, I'd say, you know what? That's valid. I'd say that's very valid. But no, he's C for me. He has to be C. I'm not budging on that. It just, nope to Forearms. Sorry, Forearms. I love you, buddy. It can't happen now. It's not happening for you, bud. Stinkfly. Oh boy, we have a rough patch of Benton aliens. We said at the start, I have some devilishly bad Ben 10 takes when it comes to Classic, and you know what? I'm keeping Forearms there. Move Stinkfly up next, and I'm also not a huge Stinkfly fan. I'm not a Stinkfly fan. I'm not. I'm also putting him in C. I think he's a pretty mid alien. And listen, I think in Classic, fair enough, because he's our flyer. And flyers are arguably one of the most important elements of any cycle, any Benton cycle. I'll give y'all that. I just, I don't know. I think it's kind of lame. I think after Jetray and Big Chill and Astrodactyl and Amphibian and so many other cooler flying aliens, he just doesn't compete. He doesn't hold up. I'm sorry. Next up, we have Ripjaws. I do. Oh boy. Okay. This is where it's kind of getting tough. Because I feel like I actually do like Ripjaws more than everybody in C at the moment. I do. Like, I think he's arguably cooler than everyone in C right now. But he's so like, he is, to me, like, he is to Alien X. He is what Alien X is in UAF. As, like, the placeholder alien we just can't use because it's too dangerous. We can never use Ripjaws unless it's a water episode. And you always know when Ripjaws is going to appear. You always know. You know when it's going to happen. And I actually think he works a lot better in Omniverse when you have a larger roster. I think he works very well there because he can work as that occasional save my butt episode. Like, I think that, like, fishing trip episode in, like, season 2 of Omniverse, great episode, fun episode. The way they were able to use Ripjaws in there, classic, fun. I love it. Classic, he sucks though. Like, out of Classic, he's arguably the worst there, which sucks. But you know what? As far as my personal ranking, I am throwing him in B. I'm throwing him in B. And you know what? Forearms, you know what? I'm going to give you some credit. I'm giving you some credit right now. I'm throwing you up to B as well. Just because it's going to be low B. And we'll have to see what else kind of lands in B towards the end. Maybe I'll move him back down. But I'm feeling like, you know what? You do have a lot of great feats. I think because of your exposure on the show. And you know what? You know what I'll give him? And I mean this. I love Ultimate Alien Forearms. I think his, like, warrior outfit, if it was just that, if we're, like, just warrior outfit Forearms, he might get S tier. Because he is pretty darn cool. I think that sets him apart. And then Omniverse, he has that ugly, like, t-shirt Forearms came back, and I freaking hated it. But yeah. You know what? B for Forearms. B for Ripjaws. I'll take it. It's fine. Up next, oh boy, and look how the S tier starts running. When I said there are 3 GOATs of Ben 10 Classic, These are my 3 goats of Ben 10 Classic. I'm looking down there, and there's technically 4. Not that I'm noticing. Kind of. I'll tell you what I mean. Yeah, Upgrade's just a guy. I think Upgrade could be my favorite Ben 10 alien. I think he could. On any given day. On every given day, it could go to Upgrade. It could. It might today. I don't know. We'll have to see once we have everything kind of there. I think just such a unique power, such an overpowered thing. Ben not using Upgrade more hurts my soul just a itty little itty bitty bit. Because he's so powerful. The power to like absorb technology and be able to use it to your advantage is so sick. I think how they use just galvanic mechamorphs in the Ben 10 world is so cool. I really do. Like, I love what they did with Ship. I love what they did with Malware. Every time Ben uses it, it's so cool. I think, I think Upgrade, arguably one of the best classic aliens. Like, I think he is given, is this a hot take? It's either up to him or Diamond Head, in my opinion. I think he's given the best fight scenes in Ben 10 Classic. Just what they're able to do with him, I think is sick. Great fights, fun things that they do with him. He's so good. I feel like sometimes in these rankings, like, aliens are so good, sometimes you don't have a lot to say. Because you're just like, yeah, he's amazing. Of course he's the best alien. And Ben 10 Classic, yeah. And to the point, I'm gonna leave it for now. Well, we can readjust the order of some of these guys later on. Okay, we have some Ben 10,000 lineups here. Which, like, some of these, in my head, I think of them as, like, Omniverse. Like, Buzzshock and Arctic Iguana, we can get to them. I think of them as, like, Omniverse, so it kind of threw me off a little bit when I saw them in Classic. But, you're right, they were introduced in Classic. So the people who made this tier list, they were correct. Spitter. I feel nothing for Spitter. I really don't. I'll throw Spitter down in D. I feel nothing for this guy, and I want to. Because I think it's a cool name. I mean, never really, maybe used once or twice in Omniverse. Like, Prime Ben really never used Spitter. He's kind of gross. He's kind of not cool. Like, I don't know. I also just think, like, would we want to see more of Spitter? Like, I could say, like, maybe if we saw more of him, maybe he'd be cooler. But, like, at what extent do you use Spitter? Like, I feel like at the end of the day, he is just kind of a gross alien. And I do think the way he's used, like, I think that's like a Ben 10,000 transformation. It's weird. You know what I mean? Like, I think he works in, like, a limited use. And I think, like, even like an Omniverse where it's like, oh, every once in a while for, like, a fight scene. It's cool. Yeah, no, Daniel. Upgrades in S tier. We were just talking about it. Upgrade's probably one of my favorite Ben 10 aliens. So yeah, no, it's great. All right, up next we have Buzzshock. Now, I really like Buzzshock. I really, really do. Now, Buzzshock kind of gets carried into the conversation of, like, he's not used very much. And, we're going to be running into that pattern. We're getting to the pattern a little bit with some of these more underrated Classic, and we'll get back into that with Omniverse, I think, once we get there. Boy, this is going to be a long stream. I'm we'll be here for a minute. I think Buzzshock's fun, though. I think Buzzshock is such a vibe. If Ben, like, he's one of those aliens where I said if I ever did my own Ben 10 reboot or series, Buzzshock would be one of my OG 10s. Because I think just getting to utilize him more, I think would be a lot of fun. And for me, he's an A. I like him. I think he's cooler than everyone in B, C, and D. I think he's a fun alien. I can't justify putting him in S. I just can't. He doesn't appear enough to be an S tier alien. That doesn't seem fair. But yeah, A, solid. Arctic Iguana. Arctic Iguana is the other. This is my last. Let me check. This is my last S tier classic alien. And I don't really think of him as a classic alien because, well, classic Ben never uses Arctic Iguana. He doesn't. He's like a Ben 10,000 alien that we eventually see in Omniverse. I just think he's arguably one of the coolest aliens. Pun totally intended. I think he's so much fun. I love the way it looks. I think his name is one of the coolest like names for like a Ben 10 alien. Obviously, yes, you have your big chill, but like, man, I don't know. He's just cool. He's just really cool. And again, just like our bus shock, if I got to do like an OG 10, I think he'd be up there because I would love to see more of Arctic One. He's not used enough. And you could say, how can you put him in S since he's not used that much? And I'd be like, every appearance he's in is freaking awesome. And I think he deserves that S tier. I also want to say, no Fs yet. And I'm not sure if there will be. Well, let's get to the Ultimates. Once we get to the Ultimates, maybe we'll have some F tiers. Frankenstrike or Ben Victor is up next. Getting into some more of the monster aliens. And... I think Classic didn't care about him. Couldn't care less. Mainly because he never really used him. Like, he used him, like, once in, like, the Season 3 finale. I don't think he uses him again through Classic. And then, again, makes his comeback in Omniverse. Which is cool. I think, like, I'd argue one of the most underrated aliens. I'd argue, like, a really, really strong alien that Ben has just, like, never used. Like, I feel like, as far as strength, like, he's up there with, like, your Humongosaur and your Raph and your forearms and stuff. And he has electricity powers. Like, he's really powerful. I feel like he could really come in handy. Like, you know, obviously not as strong as, like, a Humongosaur, probably a forearm. But he has the strength plus, like, the, like, electricity powers. I feel like he could come in handy way more than he does. I think he's cool. This is tough. I think I like him more than all my C tier ones right now, though. Like, I like him more than Wild Mutt, more than Wildvine, more than Stinkfly. Hot take. Hot take. Flamin' hot take, I'd argue. Let's put him in B. Kind of in the middle, in between. I like him. I like him. I don't love him. That's what I would say the B is. It's like, I like these aliens. I don't love these aliens. So that adds up. Blitzwolfer. I'm sorry. Blitzwolfer or Ben Wolf. I think we'll throw him in C. I think same with Ben Victor. Kind of the same spot for me. I think he's less cool than Ben Victor. And I actually do think, like, Blitzwolfer, I think the upgrade to Blitzwolfer helped him a lot. Like, Ben Wolf kind of sucked, but I think, like, how they depicted him in Omniverse was sick. I think I'd actually probably, like, again, if I had an OG10, I'd probably throw him in, like, a new lineup because he's cool. I do think he does slightly kind of get overlooked by Wild Mutt a little bit, just as far as, like, the classics go. Wild Mutt, like, he is kind of a mix of an Echo as well. Like, yeah, like, why have Blitzwolfer when you have Echo? Which is valid. It's valid. But he's cool. I'm glad he exists. I don't love him, though. He's alright. He's cool. I think if it was classic, I'd put him in C for sure. But I think because we have Omniverse, I'm putting him in B. Oh boy, we got to Upchuck. Now I'm not sure what, we're just kind of talking about Upchuck as a whole. I don't know. I think we're going to be, some of these I think are going to start getting a lot harder. I like Upchuck. I think it has to go on B. I like Upchuck a lot. I borderline love Upchuck. You know what? Upchuck's going in A. I wasn't expecting that at all. But you know what? Upchuck has really grown on me over the years. He's a cute little fella. I like him. And arguably, weirdly enough, he actually, I think about it, he is also the second alien to up to Cannibal. Like we were talking about Cannibal earlier about being the only alien throughout all the series, like a consistent face throughout all the series. Upchuck, I think, is also. Oh no, he's not an Ultimate Alien very much, is he? He's not. Okay, so never mind. But no, Upchuck's sick. I love what they did in Omniverse with them with the two separate aliens, or the like subspecies idea. That's really cool. Cool. Can you tell I'm a bit tired? I'm just like, yeah, that's all I have to say. Next up we have Ditto, my boy. My glorious, glorious boy. I love Ditto. Oh, Ditto. I feel like he's you know what? He's part of my crew. Ditto is part of my crew. This is gonna be probably the most surprising one. I am putting him in S tier. And this might change. Maybe once we get a more surrounding of like where everyone is, I'll be like, all right. But like I said early on when we started, like there's going to be some that don't make sense, but just like no, they're my guy. I love them. I think Ditto's sick as hell. I really, really do. I don't know. He's so much fun. I mean, you know, it helps who he's voiced by. He's a freaking Looney Tunes character, but he's so much fun. I think he's also just like a much more, like, by all intents and purposes, Echo is better than him in every single way possible. He just is. He's just the better alien, but not in my books. I think Ditto reigns supreme. Objectively, probably not, but fuck it, man. Fuck it. Way big. Should I start just like crying out the alien? Should I start just like saying it as Ben would say it? Probably not. Way big. Where do we want to put way big? Where do we want to go? I always really enjoy a way big fight. Way big's always fun. I think just like the like novelty of like a big old monster battle is really fun. Just you know, and you know, I think it's like less is more with way big. Like he's not always there, but that's good because if he was, we'd hate him. And I do think like no, I think they use him a good amount. I'm trying to think of like a time maybe they overdid it, and they used him quite a few in like Alien Force Season 3, which I'm currently like revisiting through Blind Wave. Like I'm seeing their reaction to it, and their hype for way big is always really fun just to see. Just kind of, you know, their hype whenever he shows up is really fun. Connor, nowhere. They go nowhere. Screw them. Just kidding. But way big's fun. I like way big. I like it. But Connor, I will let you know when Kryptonians are added to the list when I rank Superman in this ranking. My favorite Ben 10 alien is Superman. Eye Guy. Oh boy, Eye Guy. I love Eye Guy. I don't know. I'm so indifferent on Eye Guy. I feel like I wish there was an E category. Just put him in I. Put that guy in E. I'm gonna put him in C. I honestly I feel nothing towards Eye Guy. I honestly I probably feel less towards Eye Guy. The same I feel kind of with the Wild Mutt and Wild Vine. I guess out of all three of these, I do like Stinkfly the most. So I'll move him to the front here. But no, and again, Eye Guy has that disadvantage to him. Like he appears in literally the finale movie. That's it, really, right? No, he has the finale movie, and then he literally has the series finale of Classic, and then he doesn't show up again until Omniverse. And I appreciate them again doing the rebrand of a lot of those classic aliens. Like, that's really, really sick. I don't know. I still don't think that guy really has the sauce. But again, like, he's again one of those aliens. Like I said, like, if I was to do my own reboot, I'd throw him in a classic lineup just to let him get more fame. I think if he had more like notorious moments, it'd be cooler. But yeah, right now at this particular moment, I do not have a lot of feelings towards a guy. Okay, so that is it when it comes to Ben 10 Classic. I really like this. I actually love how diverse it is. Like, normally there's like one category that has more than the other, and I feel like outside of D and F, they're all about even. And not a lot we dislike. You know, we have some D1s down there, but even then, they're not that bad. They're not that bad at all. Alright, jumping into Alien Force now. You know, it should be stated, Alien Force, my favorite of the shows. Love me some Alien Force. It's what I started with. And I think you're going to be seeing here my love for these aliens, because I do think that the OG-10, I think this is easily the best batch of new aliens the show has had. Like, I think Alien Force overall is the best lineup of new aliens. Like, Ultimate Alien, really weak when it comes to new aliens. Omniverse has some bangers, Classic has some bangers, but Alien Force, what a great 10 alien cycle that they had. Really good stuff. So next up we have Swampfire. Which, by the way, I do hate his upgrade in Omniverse. Like, I hate his like evolved design. I know it has its fans. I know people love it. And I can respect that love. I truly, truly can. I can respect it. But I don't like it. Aside that, that aside, Swampfire is a freaking goat. Swampfire is, but is he S tier? And I'm thinking no. No, I don't know. I think he could be. I think my only issue with Swampfire, and there's three of them kind of feeling this. I do think he's slightly overused. Like, I do think especially Alien Force, the first two seasons, when there is only 10 he can use, it does get to a point where sometimes it's like, open Swampfire again, and he's always great. I'm always happy to see our boy, but I do think it becomes a lot, and we're gonna see a theme with a couple of these guys here. Don't you worry. Don't you gosh darn worry. We have Echo. I will say, I love the blind wave bit that they have going on with Echo. It's one of my favorite things. It's truly so unbelievably funny. Just Calvin's like hatred towards Echo, I think, is ultimately going to make me remember the alien even more. I like Echo. I do. He's never one of my favorites or anything, but I think as far as like, just a classic Ben 10 alien, Echo's pretty darn cool. I think for me personally, though, he does go in B. Out of the Alien Force groupings, as much as I love Echo, he's never, and I will also say his Omniverse redesign, not a huge fan. I don't think that design helps his case at all. But, he's cool. I think, like, we'll talk about an alternate version of Echo in a little bit. After a couple hours. Let's be honest here. Echo's cool, though. He's fun. Yeah, he's good. He's good. I feel like I'm trying to add more, but yeah, he's good. Humongosaur, I will say, this is the one that I've been the most worried about, because he's my childhood favorite. Until this moment, I've said he's my favorite Ben 10 alien. And I think that day has to change, because I think I finally have to admit, as much as I love Humongosaur, he is no longer my favorite. And I do think Humongosaur does land in the Swampfire category, that he is used a lot. In Alien Force, in Ultimate Alien, and in Omniverse, he is single-handedly the most used Ben 10 alien. And I think that's valid. I think it's a valid choice, because I do think he's very cool. He's a freaking gosh darn dinosaur. And I think people that say he's lame are lame. No offense. No offense, Dan. No offense. He's A. I'm gonna put him in A. I don't think I can quite put him on the level now of my favorites in S anymore. At one point in time, he would have been for sure. But I think right now, I think he's a high A for me though. He's like the highest an A can be. He's landing. He's right about to go in S tier, but just the pure amount of him that there is, he cannot go. He cannot go in S. And Jet Ray, same boat with Jet Ray. I'm gonna keep it here just because my ADHD. Jet Ray, also amazing. Love him slightly less than everyone else here, I think. Well, I don't know about all that. But no, I love, like, those are like these are like the most used Ben 10 Alien Force aliens, and they're amazing for that reason. But I do just think for their usage so much in like UAF, they have to be put in. They can't go to S tier. I'm so sorry. Well, where is Goku ranking on this list? Well, probably F tier. Let's be honest, F tier. Just kidding. A big chill. Big chill. I think Big Chill is an S tier. Oh boy. Yeah, everything about Big Chill. I think Big Chill is arguably one of the best Ben 10 aliens. He is just, and everything he does, he is just so cool. His mannerisms, his voice, the baby episode, his powers. He is just that guy. Like, he just has the sauce. He has it cooking. He's doing some cool things. He's just a cool guy. Just like, I'm man, I must really like those cold aliens. But I don't know. Yeah, he's just like every fight scene. I think he easily has some of the cool fight scenes. I keep mentioning Blind Wave, and I'm so sorry. But I did watch the Big Chill and Alan fight in season 3 of Alien Force. By the way, one of the best episodes of Alien Force. That episode, freaking rocks. That is such a good episode. Probably top 10 of the entire show. It's so good. Amazing fight scene. Just pulling out Alan. Just absolutely destroying him. And just further proves just how cool he is as an alien. Toot sweets. Up next, we have Chroma Stone. Chroma Stone was my OG favorite alien for a while. Like, I remember just, like, before I even really was watching the show, I remember having, I think it was my first ever Ben 10 action figure. I still have it over there. I could pull him out at some point. But, like, he's a very cool alien. I love the crystals. I love the colors. I love his ability to absorb energy, like chaotic energy, shoot it outward. He, you know, I think he is simply a alien that's is slightly just left behind by like your Humongousaur and your Jet Ray and your Swamp Fire. I do think what ended up happening to him via Diamond Head kind of puts me off a little bit. I'm not a huge fan of that Chroma Stone episode. I think just season 3 as a whole just kind of poops on Diamond Head, and that sucks. And like, you know, he's not used a whole lot in Ultimate Alien. I guess he's used somewhat. Like, he's just really not used much in Omniverse. Especially once, like, feedback comes around. I love him. I think he's cool. He is ultimately, like SMV said in the last stream he did, he was, like, the final big alien in Omniverse. Like, he was the one to literally stop the Big Bang. But yeah, I'd probably say he's a B. He's a B. Chromosome was the first alien I liked. Yeah, I think that would probably be the same for me as well. Weirdly enough. He's a B though. I think he's a B. I like him. I would say I like Chromosome. I wouldn't say I love Chromosome. Next up we have Brainstorm. An alien that was put off by bad marketing. From my understanding, he wasn't used very much because he didn't sell very many toys. He didn't sell very many toys, which means he didn't get a lot of screen time within the show. I think I like Brainstorm more than I like Gray Matter. I think Brainstorm is a very cool alien. I think he's a very fun alien. I think he has the sauce. I think he's very cool. I think most of the fight scenes he's in, I love his like atmosphere. Oh my gosh, arguably some of the coolest moments in the show come from Brainstorm. I love his Pier episode. His fight with Agrigor. Oh my gosh, one of the darkest moments from the show. Just like that scene freaking terrifies me as a kid. Like, it's truly, you're like, oh my gosh, Ben gonna die here. But his scene in Omniverse, I think they do him a little bit of justice. Like, he has that fight versus the Refenders or whatever, that like the little team of the villains that they make. That's an amazing scene. I love that scene. Brainstorm is an A tier. I'm putting him in an A. I'm loving how many people we got in A. It feels like A and B are like the main source of aliens. And that's what I was thinking. Like, there's a lot of aliens I like. And really like. And not a lot I don't like. So I think this is a good spot for a lot of these guys. Next up we have Spider Monkey. I should not try and do the voice. That's pretty cringe. I'm so sorry. My second favorite one as a kid, it was Humongous and Spider Monkey. Like, those were my guys. I dressed up, and I really wish I could find the photo. I really wish I could find it. For Halloween, I dressed up as Spider Monkey. My mom made me a homemade Spider Monkey costume. She made his like face out of like a plate, and she made me like stuffed like there's my arms, and they had like blue lining, and then she made me like these little stuffed arms that would hang down, and these blue pants, and like a fake tail. Like, it was so cool. Arguably, like, she did such a good job on it, and I really wish I could find the photo somewhere. It was really cool. But I loved him. I thought it was really cool. I always like loved like apes and monkeys and stuff as a kid, so like he was really cool. I do think he kind of falls into like the wild mud of it all, though, where it is kind of just like, it's a monkey that's like, it's like a blue monkey, and you know, like I do think the coolness kind of comes in from like the Spider-Man aspects, and whenever they get to do anything with that. I always liked Simeon as like a villain. Like, it was like, he was really fun. It's gonna be, I like me some Spider Monkey, but there are cooler aliens. I think he's just like really cool, but wouldn't say at least now when I watch it now, I don't get like extremely excited when he pops in. Goop, my guy. Probably my least favorite Alien Force alien, and that sucks. That really does suck. It does. For me, he gotta go in D and C. I'm sorry, not D, C. You know, another alien that, from what I understand, was tarnished by lack of marketing. I think it's also just hard to use him in episodes, and you know, in fairness, I think as UAF went on, they got better at using him in other ways. I think especially like even like Alien Force Season 3, again, rewatching that through Blind Wave, like they do some really fun stuff with him as like just like an alien, and I don't know, they get very like inventive with them, but I don't know. I've never got excited when Goop shows up. Like, I respect Goop for what he can do, what he can add. I love his voice. I remember he was always like the funnest voice to do as a kid. He's a C alien though, unfortunately, and I think he's probably my least favorite from the Alien Force gang. Next up, we have Alien X. This one's tough, I'd say. This is a toughie. Okay. I mean, Alien X is like the single most important alien to like the Ben 10 roster as far as just like the conversations that it ensues and like all of the like who would win, Ben 10 or Superman or Ben 10 and Goku, like all of that stuff all just kind of starts from Alien X. If we're talking like UAF, like it's rough for Alien X. His whopping like 2 appearances in 2 shows is not great. It's not great. But I think what they do with him in Omniverse is really cool. Right off the gate, they're like, yes, look what he can do. Look at what he's able to accomplish as this character. And later in the season, when Ben gets full access, there's the scenes with like the rooters when he's just like knocking them around. That's freaking sick. That's awesome. That's a lot of fun. He's an A for me. He's not an S. I can't put him in S. He doesn't deserve S, in my opinion. He doesn't deserve it. Doesn't deserve S. But I think A is good for him. He's fun. And used in moderation. And I think they were very smart. Obviously, it's a hard character to use. But, like, when he's used, it's cool. When he is used, it is cool. Alright. Next up, we have Lodestar. Shout out to Dan again. 2 Dan shout outs. Cool. This is one, I think, with better marketing. I've said this a lot. With better marketing, Lodestar could be a top 10 alien. He could be unbelievably cool. Dan, I fully understand why he's your favorite alien. I do. I can't support it. I can't. I don't know. He's not an S. He's not an A. He could be an A, though. I kind of get it. And if I'm going to be honest, you know what? I'm going with A. Screw it. Because when he is there, he is cool. Like, he's doing cool stuff. And yes, he's overshadowed by our boy Gravitak, which we'll talk about in a couple of minutes, a little while. Like, he is really cool. He is cool. Again, he is a character, we talked about this about, I would put him in like an OG lineup. Because if he was in, like, throw him in Ben 10 Classic. Swap him out for, like, Wild Mutt or something like that. And he is a freaking classic. He is cool. He is so overpowered. He is so cool. Love his voice. Love his atmosphere. I get it. I do. Make him. Do more with him, and I think he's there. Fully believe that. Let me tell you something. You know how much I love Wrath, man. You know it. You know it. Got an S tier for our boy Wrath. Yeah, you know it. I listen, Raph is like, yeah, he's one of my favorite aliens, but like, that's boring to say. Like, the only reason why he's not my favorite alien is because, like, he's your favorite alien. Like, I think he's like secretly everyone's favorite alien deep inside. Everyone loves Wrath, but it's like, but do I want to use him as my favorite alien? Do I want to single him to be like, yeah, the one? Because everyone's saying Raph's their favorite. But Blind Wave, bring them up again. I should be sponsored by this point. They did last week. 2 weeks ago, they reacted to the Wrath episode, and he's been in the last 3 episodes since he's appeared. And oh my goodness, so funny. I'm so glad they loved him as much as they did. He's great. Like the rest of their like Motique, Wolverine and Hulk Hogan or like whatever. He's so good. He's easily the funniest alien. He's arguably the most entertaining alien to watch. Arguably the most important alien. Or, I'm sorry, entertaining. Like, he's always a fun time. The way they use the references and the... he's the most quotable alien as well. Like, I quoted him so much as a kid. Truly. So good. Nanomech. Oh boy. Oh boy. I defend this little guy. I do. I kind of like Nanomech. I kind of mess with him, man. I don't know. He doesn't do a lot. I think, again, with better marketing, this guy's cool. This guy's cool with some better marketing. I think, again, putting him in like a lineup, maybe giving him a couple more powers. I think if you make Nanomech a bit more like Ant-Man, he's cool. Like, I kind of like the element that maybe he can like change his size to a point. Like, I think if you make him more Ant-Man, like, he's a lot more cool. But you know, he's just like the small guy. He's like the little guy. He's just chilling. Where did I put him though? Where do we put him? B? I would say B. I like Nanomech. I personally like Nanomech more than everyone in C right now. Unfortunately, I like him more. Everyone in B. I'll be honest though. I think we're moving Forearms back to C. I think it's gotta happen. I think it's gonna have to happen because I'm looking at everyone in B and I'm liking them all more than Forearms. Unfortunately. Sorry, I tried to give you that B treatment, but going down to C. And that was the end of Alien Force. A lot less an S than I thought. I am a little bit shocked by how that ultimately turned out. But look at all of them in A and B. Like, I think they are... Yes, there are more classics in S tier than there is in Alien Force. But there's nothing in D. There's only one in C. And the rest are S, A's, and B's. And I think that's just such a great lineup. That is simply a really, really good groupings of aliens. I think it's pretty cool. I think it's cool. Alrighty. Let's dive into Ultimate Alien, which I would say is easily the worst roster of new aliens. And that's just because there's not like a whole... I think, like, you know, at this point, what you have, like 40-some aliens, 45-some aliens, however much it is in the franchise. Like, you're now like, all right, we got to get a bit more creative with the aliens we're introducing. I know there's that weird, like, lineup of, you know, like, I feel like we're getting a lot more, like, repeat powers at this point, and... You know, it's definitely interesting. We'll get into it. But first up, glad they matched them all up here. We have the Andromeda 5 aliens. Yippity-doo-dah. Yippity-day. Amphibian. I like Amphibian. I always liked the idea of Amphibian. I think just because it's another... the ideal water alien for Ben, and I think him and Jet Ray, I think, just kind of blow Ripjaws out of the water as far as like the water aliens. I think, you know, he's very powerful, right? Because he can swim. He has telepath. He has like this like electricity power. I think it's all very cool. I don't know. I'm kind of leaning... I don't know. I kind of feel bad, though. He's cool. I think I'm leaning towards C for Amphibian. I think I'm leaning towards C for Amphibian. I know, that's a weird one. I think he's cool. I'd actually put him at the very top of C. Put him at the very top of C. I think he's cool. But oh no, I'm gonna keep it how it is actually, because the colors are gonna mess with me. But he's cool. But I think, yeah, the rest might be kind of better. You know what? No, you know what? Dang, I don't know. This one's tough. Because I'm looking at B and I like all of... No, we're going to put him in B. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put him in B. Oh my gosh, I don't know. This is getting hard. This is getting really hard. Okay, get a grip. I think most of these are going to be at B. The more I'm looking at it... Let's just go down the list. I think I like Amphibian. Do I like him more than Goop, though? I think so. I think I like Amphibian more than everyone in C at the moment. I would say that. I would argue the same for NRG. I think NRG can be he's very creative. He's very fun. I like having like the inner thing inside of him. I think Omniverse kind of messes that up a little bit because it's like, what are you doing? I actually think he kind of gets overused in Omniverse a bit. I don't know. I think NRG is easily the weakest. I am actually going to... I'm throwing NRG in C. I'm not a huge NRG fan. I think he's kind of lame at times. Like, he has his moments for sure, but he's alright. And we have Water Hazard. Easily another one of the most underrated characters. I really like Water Hazard. I think if given a bit more, Water Hazard could have been an S tier alien at some point. They don't give him enough sauce, I don't think. I don't think they give him quite enough to be able to live that legacy. But I'm going to throw him in an A. Giving us another tier of A tier aliens. Yeah, I think he's great. I love Water Hazard. I can't believe it took us to Ultimate Alien to get a water-based alien. That's absurd, in my opinion. We had 2 ice aliens up to that point, 3 electricity aliens, 2 speedsters at that point. That's crazy. That is crazy, in my opinion. But yeah, I'm a huge Water Hazard guy. I like me some Water Hazard. But yeah, thanks everyone who's in the chat. Let me know how you're feeling about the rankings so far. I'd love to hear. And again, don't be afraid to let us know where you'd put these aliens as well. Armadillo. I like me some Armadillo. Armadillo's cool. I like Armadillo. I'm thinking I like Armadillo more than everyone in B at the moment, I think. I remember really liking Armadillo. I remember, like, you know, as a kid, kind of just like playing in like the Ben 10 world, and I used to like to make my own aliens, give them names and stuff. And I remember I made another. I like, I wanted to be like a digging alien. I think I made him more like an armadillo type creature. And then, like, I remember weeks later watching Ultimate Alien and being like, oh yeah, there's already like a digging type of alien. It is a bit weird that he's like a living creature. Like he has a lot of like this armor and stuff like that, which, you know, he seems more tech based than he is alien creature. But, you know, I guess he's kind of like the armadillo type creature. I guess, like, I don't know. I like him. I think he's another A tier. I think he's pretty great. He's not S tier for sure, but and actually, he'd probably be at the very end of my A tier. Like, I think he'd be like a high B, and I might still move him to B because I'm looking at my A's, and I do like him significantly less than I'm moving him to B because I do like him significantly less than everyone else in B, unfortunately. But Terraspin, that's an S tier alien, baby. Terraspin has the sauce. Single-handedly, the most underrated alien within Ben 10. He's a freaking turtle who can turn into a giant freaking fan. The way he flies, the way he talks, the way he moves about, his name, he is an S-tier alien, my guy. He is sick as heck. I would defend Harrisman to this day, and I think he has potentially the argument to be one of the best of the entire show. He does. He in fact does. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Pretty freaking cool. I love Harrisman. We're really getting through the Ultimate Alien, guys, pretty quickly. And actually, to the sentiment, we're actually going to move the Ultimates up. I had them at the very bottom because I had to add them into like the tier list, but we're going to move them all up where we can talk about them sooner. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know why I was going to save them for last. That doesn't make much sense, does it? Okay, cool. Well, a whole line left of Ultimate Alien. I was like, Ultimate Alien's really short, and I was like, oh yeah, that's because the Ultimates were at the bottom. Like that, they didn't have that many new aliens, but they had a bunch of the Ultimate Aliens. They also had to fit in, I guess. That was half of their new toy line. These Ultimate Aliens. Fast Track. Man. I will say, I am a big defender of Fast Track. I will say, huge defender of the Fast Track. Huge defender of him. But he does ultimately have to go in D. He just doesn't have, like... I like Fast Track, and we're about to get into a couple of these where I kind of feel the same. Yes, is he just a copycat of Accelerate? Yes. But I do kind of like that. Like, it makes sense to me that there would be species that are similar. That, yes, there would be other fast blue species out there. And I think Ultimate Alien does a cool job of showing, like, there's aliens with similar powers out there doing similar things. And I think that's super valid. I really do. I think that's a valid thing that they did. Unfortunately, he's still a pretty mid-alien, and he doesn't prove himself. Like, he doesn't have a moment to be like, this is why I exist. This is why I'm different than Fast Track. This is why I'm cooler. He doesn't have the cool feats. He exists for like 3 or 4 episodes in Ultimate Alien, and then he's gone forever. So I can't give him any more. Kind of in the same boat as everyone else in B. They're not in very much. They don't show me why they're special, why they're cool, and they have to go in D, unfortunately. I wanted to give them more, but I couldn't do it. I could not do it. Clockwork. Oh gosh. Clockwork. Oh no. What does Clockwork deserve? What does he deserve? I'm gonna be real. I gotta be honest. I want to like Clockwork. I think making Mount Truant the final villain of Omniverse is pretty cool. Like, I always like when villains of the show can be aliens that Ben has in the Omnitrix. That's cool. I can appreciate him a little bit. I can appreciate like a time travel alien in the Omnitrix. I can. I think he has a cool design. I don't know. I've never been huge on him. I've never been a huge fan of Clockwork. I think Clockwork has to go in C. Unfortunately. He's not. And you know what? To that extent, I'm moving NRG up to B. I'm doing that. I think he deserves the B treatment as well. Like, looking at everyone else in C, I think NRG is clearly cooler than all of them. And I'm kind of feeling that with Forearms as well. But I don't know. Forearms is just a C alien. He's a mid alien. He has to stay there. He just gotcha. Alright, final 2 rows here, guys. Yippity skippity lickety skippity. We have Chameleon, right? It's weird because I always called him Overkill as a kid. Like, I always thought that was his name, but it's Charmeleon or whatever it is. He has appeared in like 2 or 3 episodes. He also has to go in D. Charmeleon, right? That's it. I'm sorry I pronounced it wrong. He has to go in D for the same reason as everyone else. Like, cool idea, cool concept. Not great execution. Like, I like this, like, kind of like invisible chameleon type character. But he's not in there enough to prove himself. He's not. I've used him more. Like, I actually think he would have worked very well in, like, the Omniverse lineup. Like, I think he works very well as, like, an ensemble upon all the others. And I think he maybe had. I think he's one of them that didn't appear throughout the show, actually. I remember someone, like, redesigning, like, they, like, redesigned him into the show, which was cool. But he never actually made an appearance from what I understand. We have Edel. I will give my hatred towards Edel. I've never given an F about Edel. Never. I've never given. I just couldn't care less about Edel. I truly could. I've never cared. I've never been into Edel. It's never happened for me. Not once did Ben turn into Edel. I'm like, yes, I'm so excited. Never. It's never happened. I don't know. I think he's arguably my least favorite alien at Ben 10. Which maybe I should put him in F, but I have a special in mind. I have someone in mind for F. I think exclusively F that I have kind of in store. I don't think Edel deserves that because he has moments. He has his fans. He has his justifiable moments. It's just not for me. We have Jerry Rig. I do love me some Jerry Rig. Jerry Rig's a lot of fun. Man. I know a lot of people don't like the gimmicky aliens in them, where it's like, it doesn't. I know Jerry Rig doesn't make a lot of sense, and I'll be honest, Ultimate Alien Jerry Rig wasn't a fan. Like the little naked mole rat devil looking thing, I didn't like. You put goggles and a scarf on him though, and you know what? I mess with some Jerry Rig. I do. And I'll be honest with y'all. We are heading towards 2 hours straight of me talking without a break. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. But we'll make it work. But if I'm talking slightly less, that's why. He's a B. Jerry's a B. He can't go into A or S. Like, I don't think he deserves all that. But you know what? I want to be real. You know what? No, he's B. He's still a B. I like him more than a lot of B, but like I think he's B in the same sense that like Amphibian and Armadillo and Spider Monkey are in B for me. For me personally. But I mean, yeah, B's still good. Like B's are all aliens I like. But yeah, I can't go any higher. We have Shock Squatch, yo. I'm throwing Shocks. No, we'll do it now. This is how they wanted it to be done, so I'll do it now. I always think Shock Squatch as an Omniverse alien, personally. Yes, there was the prototype over on Generator Rex. I'll say both are fun, by the way. Like, I think they're all both fun in their right. I'd throw Shock Squatch in B as well. I probably prefer everyone in A over Shock Squatch. I think the accent's fun. I think the powers are also very fun. I think having like this Canadian electric Yeti is a really fun twist. I think it's a fun add-on. I think it, you're at a point in kind of Omniverse where you're like, all the powers have kind of been taken at this point. Yes, we're redoing it, but I think this is a good. I think this is a good example of, that not Quicksilver, Fast Track and Edel kind of are with. We're like they are proving. I think he proves himself. he proves why multiple aliens with similar powers can work well. And I think that's valid. I'm very proud of him. All right, now we are getting into the. Yes, he was. He was in Omniverse, and that always trips me up. But what had happened is he a prototype of the character of the alien appeared in the Generator Rex crossover. He looked very different. He was a lot more fluffy. He looked a lot more like a Yeti type creature. And in Omniverse, and it's still technically the same alien, but they did redesign him for that show and kind of passed him on more as an original alien for that show. Yeah, I like myself some Sasquatch. So yeah, now we're moving into some Ultimate Aliens, and oh boy, this is where we might have this one's gonna be where some interesting ones end up, I think. Now it's apparent I am not a huge fan of a lot of these aliens, but we'll see where they land. We will see where they land. First up, we have Ultimate Swampfire, and I think we're starting with one of them that I think is pretty darn cool. I like Ultimate Swampfire a bit. I think he looks very different. I think he feels like he's the one. He's one of the two that I think looks like an actual evolution of the alien. It doesn't just feel like Swampfire but blue. It's like, oh, we are changing the fundamentals of him. He's more of a tree. He has the blue fire. He has the bombs on the side of his hand. I think they actually cooked, and I think this having Swampfire be the first Ultimate Alien Ben turns into is really cool. With that being said, we're throwing him in B. I think he's a solid one. I think he's pretty cool. Not my favorite or anything, but I think it's very cool. And we have Ultimate Spider Monkey, which Ultimate Spider Monkey is also in the same can of worms. I like him. He feels to me like an evolution of Spider Monkey. I think making him a gorilla is really cool. I love his giant stilts. I love his webs coming out of his mouth. I think he's cool. He's one of the other Ultimate Aliens that I think cooks. I think they do some cool things there. Again, not my favorite or anything, but I'd say I like Ultimate Spider Monkey over everyone in C, so I think it works. Oh, forgive me, man. Whew. We're going on hour 2 pretty soon, so gotta keep hydrated, gotta keep going. Ultimate Humongousaur. Now, I did say Humongousaur was one of my favorite aliens previously. I love Humongousaur. I am not a fan of the redesign of Humongousaur. Now, I do think he's a bit better than some of the other ones on this list. I do think he's pretty cool. I think at face value, alien having rocket for hands, but I do think he kind of falls into Humongousaur, but green plus rocket hands. And I'll be honest, the rocket hands for me, I always thought was a bit silly. Especially as the one to show for the example of human, the evolution of these aliens over 1,000 years. And it's but evolution, would he have grown to have rocket for hands? That never made a lot of sense to me. It just, to me, it didn't. No, is he cool? Does he have cool moments? Does he have cool things? He most certainly does, but I'm going to say he's a C. He's a C. He's going down there. He's kind of up there with Goop. He's there with iGuy. I think he's in good company. He's cool. There's some cool moments with Ultimate Humongousaur. There's some cool stuff. Ultimate Echo. Now, this is the this is the Outlander of all the Ultimate Aliens, because he's not a C, he's not a B, he's not even an A. This guy goes straight up to S, in my personal opinion. I love Ultimate Echo. He is so unbelievably cool. I love the evolution. This feels purely like the evolution of an alien. I love the color change. I love the height difference. I love his discs. Easily one of the coolest things within the show. Ultimate Echo, I think, is arguably one of the best aliens in the entire show by a large mark. What our friend Dez, I just need to shout out all of those guys. Dez, this is his favorite alien. It's like, yeah, I understand. I fully understand why this guy is your favorite. He is so unbelievably cool. He deserves the hype. And, yeah. I love me some Ultimate Echo. What else can I say? The only only alien in Ultimate Alien to get, oh no, I lied. Terraspin's up there. Terraspin's up there too, so I can't say that. Ultimate Big Chill. And I, unfortunately, am not a big fan. I'm not chill with Ultimate Big Chill. The first chill alien to not get in the S tier, unfortunately. I think he is Big Chill, but red. And I think that's the worst thing you can do with the Ultimates. I truly do think so. You know, they tried to spit the whole thing of, like, it's so hot it burns, and it's just like, it's just ice but slightly stronger. I don't know. I feel like they didn't do much with Ultimate Echo or Ultimate Big Chill. And because of that, he's going in D. He's a D tier alien. Now, I said earlier that there was one alien that I was reserving the F tier for. There was one guy. There was one man that I was reserving F tier for. And that goes to Ultimate Wildmutt. I think Ultimate Wildmutt is easily the worst Benson alien. It's such like a random transformation. It is. It's like, oh, okay, how do you do it? And the thing is, they do nothing with Ultimate Wildmutt. It's like, it's frustrating because it's literally just Wildmutt but purple, and can talk this time for some reason. Like, there's no real reason to go Ultimate when it comes to him. They do nothing with him. To me, it's easily the most. It's so frustrating because, like, all of these aliens that deserved an ultimate transformation, and you give it to Wildmutt, which I already have. Wildmutt's already in C, by the way. Like, at least with, like, Big Chill, it's an S tier alien, and like, he's already has that. But like Ultimate Wildmutt, he's already low on my list here. Like, I'm not a huge Wildmutt guy, so to make that, and then on top of that, to do nothing with him, is unfortunate. It's unfortunate. It really is. Next up, though, we have Ultimate Cannon Bolts, which, oh boy, and I think he goes in the exact same case as Ultimate Big Chill. But you know what? He's going in C. I'm moving him one up. I think he's one up a little bit, because Ultimate Cannibal, I think, like, there's not much difference, but I think, like, at least visually, I see the evolution. Like, I see what they're going with when it comes to Ultimate Cannibal. Like, it feels like over time, maybe he could get, like, a Sherma or armor. And, like unlike Ultimate Humongosaur, unlike him, I can see where you'd go with that. But he's still just kind of so lame to me. Like, he doesn't do much. SMV in the chat, buddy, how's it going? Had a blast talking last time. We've shouted you guys out many times throughout the stream already. But it's great to have you here. Great to see you. And let me know where you'd rank some of these aliens. We're having a blast. We're heading towards the end of our ultimate alien here. And it's not looking good for some of these ultimate aliens. But yeah, Cannibal, I don't know. There's still some cool scenes with Ultimate Cannibal, though. Like, there's one or two moments where I'm like, alright, that's okay. And our last ultimate alien here, we have Ultimate Waybig. I don't know. Like, I feel like everything looks solid so far. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. I think Ultimate, it's weird because I at least they do try to make it feel like he's different, at least a little bit different from regular Waybig. I just kind of think he's lame, though. I don't know. I think he's another one where it's just like out of all the characters or all the aliens to do an ultimate, I didn't necessarily need an ultimate Waybig. I would have preferred some of the other classic. Like, that's also the thing. Like, I feel like Waybig and Wildma, out of, there's 3 classic aliens to get ultimates. Those 2 probably would not have been the ones I would have chosen. I probably would have chosen like a, scroll back up really quick, like maybe a Diamond Head, or I don't know, a Heat Blast could have been kind of cool. Maybe that's too similar to Swamp Fire, but Swamp Fire is where I start to get picky. That's fair. It's very up and down for me. Like, there's some really good ones, and then there's some rough ones, in my opinion. Where do I want to put Ultimate Waybig, though? I don't know. I'm feeling D, if I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I think he's like the least, next to Ultimate Wildma, which we clearly put in F. I think he's like the least cool one out of the group. I think he's the least, like, I don't know. It's just kind of boring. All right, we're moving on to Omniverse here. Which again, I love Omniverse. I think there's some really, really cool aliens in here. I think there's a lot of fun ones, and we'll talk about it. And starting off with Omniverse, we have the one, the only, the fabulous, the amazing. We have Feedback, which is one of the only aliens, correct me if I'm wrong, to have an entire arc dedicated to him. I mean, Big Chill. I mean, we've had episodes that have had aliens who've had episodes dedicated to them. Well, this man had like 2 seasons. Like the launch of the show was his. Like, he was at top of his game, and I think that gives him something. For me, he's not quite S tier. I would say I don't like him that much personally. But I think he has to at least gain an A. And I think he's an alien that, like, at first, I think just because he was so popular, I was like, all right, whatever. But over time, I've just been like, you know what? Yeah, he's a cool dude. He's a chill dude. He's fun. He's a fun little guy. Obviously, he has a lot in terms with like Chroma Stone and stuff like that, which we have with Chroma Stone and what? B? He's a B right now. Love him. I'd say I actually probably like Feedback slightly more than Chroma Stone at this point, which it's kind of crazy. Next up, we have Blocks. Oh, probably one of the most controversial aliens within Ben 10, I'd argue. I always really enjoyed Blocks. I'll be honest. I've always had a really fun time with Blocks. Doesn't make much sense within the world of Ben 10. No, he doesn't. He doesn't make much sense. And I understand why some people have an issue with it, but I think at the end of the day, I think if you can have like an alien with rocket hands, if you can have a mummy, if you can have, a freaking like, freaking god, right? I don't know. I feel like there could be like a Lego creature out there somewhere. And I think how inventive he is with this fight scenes, we're always a huge fan. I always had a lot of fun when he was on screen. Had a lot of fun when he was part of a fight. Always liked his voice quite a bit. I'm throwing him in B. I like me some Blocks. Will I get hate for putting Blocks above Forearms? Yes, but I do not care. Forearms can suck it. Forearms can suck it. Gravitack. Oh boy. Okay, so Gravitack, I got like beef with Ben with Gravitack, I feel like. Because like he is clearly one of Ben's most powerful aliens. Like, you literally have an alien that can control gravity. And Ben just like doesn't use it when I think he should be using it. Like, I feel like, like Albedo and like against like the Annihilar when all they're chasing him and stuff like that. Like, there's so many of these moments within Omniverse where I'm like, Ben, you can control gravity. Literally just stop them from moving. Literally create a black hole. Like, what are you doing? Why aren't you using this? Why isn't he your new Humongousaur? I think he should be Ben's go-to. I think maybe that should be like the new go-to in the show. Should be like, oh, I'm gonna go Gravitack, and then he gets freaking like Edel or something. Whatever. Like, I get like you can't have him solve every issue, but why aren't you trying to turn into Gravitack way more than you already are? Seriously. I don't know. It's a weird one. But Gravitack, ooh, where do I want to put him? I love Gravitack. But is he S tier? Is Gravitack an S tier alien? I think he's an A for me. He's very close to S. Like, I could see me putting him in S. But I feel like I do like everyone in S more than Gravitak, just personally. As much as I love him, I think he's like a very high A for me. But he's very cool. He's very cool indeed. We have Crash Hopper. I used to really like Crash Hopper as well. Crash Hopper. I think Crash Hopper is very. What I applaud Omniverse for doing is I think Ultimate Alien went very soft. Like, I feel like I think they often felt like there was a lot of these like filler type aliens. It was like, it's a new alien, sort of same power, interesting design, just kind of whatever. Throw it out there. Even like back half of like Alien Force kind of did that a little bit as well, where I feel like Omniverse, they were really thinking outside of the box with a lot of these, and I think Crash Hopper is a great example of that. Of just like a grasshopper type creature. You can bounce really high. Like, that's really, really cool. I like that. At one point, I think I called him my favorite Omniverse alien. I wouldn't say that anymore. He's very inventive. He's very cool. He's probably a B tier. I kind of in the same zone as like Echo, and a lot of those guys that we have in B at the moment. Crash Hopper's cool though. Love me some Crash Hopper. Next up we have Waka Trout. I don't know. That's one of those creatures. That's one of them. And we have that series here. We have a series of like aliens here from that one Alien Force episode that Ben just hated. I think I don't know. I don't know where to put this guy. He's fun. I like his voice. I like that Yuri voices him. He's a slippery little booger. I think honestly, I'm probably gonna put most of these guys in C. They're not D for sure. But I feel like I don't like Waka Trout. I like Waka Trout less than everyone I have in B at the moment. And I think that's valid. Like, again, I don't hate any of these guys in C, but I also am not like very passionate about Waka Trout. Pixie Dust though, I do like Pixie Dust. I think she's a lot of fun. I think by the way, another very OP'd alien that Ben just doesn't use. Like, alien that can literally make anyone fall asleep and tell him his secrets. Have them tell him their secrets. Like, that is freaking pull that on Vilgax, bro. Like, freaking therapize your villains and redeem them. Like, why aren't you using the alien more? I think the fairy look is fun. I think it's a fun, again, as far as Omniverse doing some very unique type aliens. I think that's really cool. B, I like Pixie Dust. Mustache, same kind of deal. I am a huge defender of Mustache, bro. Mustache is so funny. I think Mustache is a lot of fun. It truly is a lot of fun. Is it a bit silly? Yes, but I think it shows the more silly side of Ben 10 and how silly some of the universe can be. Just a giant mole with mustache for weapons. And I liked his in the final episode, his the mix of heat blast and mustache. That was a fun combo. The worst. Unironically, not the worst. Actually, kind of strong. He's a very durable alien and could probably go toe to toe with a lot of Ben's villains, unfortunately. Stop at that. I think kind of has to go in the same category as Waka Trout. I respect it. I respect what he means for the franchise. Like we were saying before, I like that they get to show that not every alien is going to have these super big powers. You know what I mean? Some are just kind of be normal type creatures that maybe aren't fit for the big combats and stuff like that Ben is going to be going in. He's still a C for me. Definitely not a D. Like, I like all these guys more than the people in D, I think. It's fun when we get to see them every once in a while. We're in the long haul. 2, 4, 6, 8 aliens left. I should have done that two things ago when I was like 10 aliens left. But we get 8 aliens left here. Let's see where these guys land. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, this is why I don't do solo streams. Because it's a lot on the throat. Oh my goodness. Kick and Hawk. I do like me some Kick and Hawk. I think Kick and Hawk. I like an alien that is like kind of martial arts. Not martial arts, but like fight oriented. Like, I feel like I talk about Kick and Hawk a lot when I talk about like who would win in a fight type of thing. Of like, you know, like I was like, oh, who would I have Batman, or who would I have Ben use when he's going against like a character like a Batman or like a Daredevil? Clearly Ben would lose with Kick and Hawk, but I feel like those would be the most entertaining fights for him to have. So yeah, Kick and Hawk. Where? He's a B. I think he's another B. I think Omniverse is kind of existing in B. Like, I think there's a lot of fun ones. Maybe not as peak as some of the ones in S and A, but like, yeah. I think B is a lot of these guys. Then we have gotta be honest, what's this guy's name? I forget this guy's name. Topic. I'm sorry, Topic. Again, I think he's a D. I think he's a D, unfortunately. He's another alien that just kind of used a couple times. He's very gimmicky. He's very powerful. Should Ben be using him more often? Oh, heck yeah. Most definitely, yes. I don't know. He doesn't... To be fair, we don't know anything about him. Like, he doesn't have any personality. He doesn't have any interesting kind of, like, things to go with him. He's like, oh yeah, he's an alien that's just like super scary and can scare anyone, and that's, you use him like once, twice. Like, I think he's just in our D category of characters that just didn't get to prove themselves. Didn't have much going for him, unfortunately. Unfortunately, next up we have Astrodactyl. For a while, one of my favorite aliens. I loved Astrodactyl, and I will forever not understand the hate for Astrodactyl. I think Astrodactyl is really, really cool. I think he's probably my second favorite flying alien outside of Big Chill. Like, I think he's really cool. I love his little, like, lasso things. I love dinosaur. We're talking about, like the Humongosaur thing. Like, really cool alien. Cool name. Cool, like, aesthetic. Cool wings. Too much hate. Very much an overrated Ben 10 alien, in my opinion. Final 5, ladies and gentlemen. We're in the final stretch, the final 5. Oh, what did I do there? I don't know what I did there. A Bullfrag. Yeah, Bullfrag doesn't have the sauce, in my opinion. I don't think Bullfrag quite has the sauce to deliver. I mean, Frogs of War is one of my favorite Omniverse arcs. Is like my top 4 arcs of the entire series franchise, and he was very cool in that one episode. And of course, he's not used like a whole lot more after that arc. I think the idea of like having Ben use like an incursion to sneak back onto Earth is really fun. I think that's using like the Ben 10 and his abilities to the highest degree. I like a frog alien. That's fun. Like, again, I like getting to see villains that are... But I like having Ben 10 villains that he has in the Omnitrix. Like, that's cool. I think that's a fun way to like expand on the world. He's a C though in general. I think. How did Jet Ray, or not Jet Ray, Ripjaws get up there? He's a C. Yeah, I think I feel the same about most of the C category as I do him. Atomics. Yeah. Again, I am a defender of Atomics. I think he gets a lot of hate. I know a lot of people were let down. I think Atomics has a really fun, I love his, cousin, I think there's a lot of fun there with Atomics. His powers are cool. And you know what? I was about to throw him in C, but I think I gotta throw him in B. I like him more than everybody in C at the moment. I do. I truly do. I think Atomics is fun. And also, again, if we're talking about, Ben's powers, I think Atomics is what, canonically Ben's second most powerful alien. People, people do count on him for stuff like that. So I like Atomics. He's fun. Atomics is fun. Gut Rot. This is the alien I feel like I have the least amount of, memories with. I remember him appearing really late in Omniverse. Appearing very late in Omniverse, not leaving a huge impact on me, and I remember saying probably one of my least favorite Omniverse aliens. I guess Gut Route is probably my least favorite. Looking at this whole lineup here, but I think, yeah, Gut Route's he's a D. I get nothing out of that alien. I get nothing. Vampire. Joining, getting back into some of those monster aliens. Not much there for me. I think it was cool we had the Galactic Monsters arc, and you got to kind of dive back into that. Give us complete the monsters collection. Another alien that Ben should be using every gosh darn time. Literally mind control. Just go mind control Vilgax not to invade Earth for a while. I think pretty powerful thing to do. I don't have an issue with him, I suppose. I don't know. I think he's a D, personally. I think he's a D. I don't get much out of him. It's just, I never think about the alien. I literally went at the bottom here and was like, oh yeah, you exist. I was like, oh, I completely forgot you existed until this very moment. And frankly, that's probably not a great sign. That is probably not a great sign. Alright, one left. Y'all, this has been a doozy of a stream. My throat is sore, but this has been so much fun. I love talking Ben 10. I truly do. I don't get to do it very often. It's just really fun when I get to do that. We have Ball Weevil. Ball Weevil gets a lot of hate, y'all. I don't like all the Ball Weevil hate, ladies and gentlemen. I don't like it. I don't think it's deserved. I don't think it's warranted. I think the little guy handles himself pretty well. He's small, but he's wiry. He gets job done. I think for his size, man, I think gray matter is often, gray matter, nanomech, their size puts them at a disadvantage. And I don't think Ball Weevil does. I think Ball Weevil uses his size, uses his matter, and he uses it against them. And I think, again, we're talking about Omniverse being very creative with their aliens. I think having this little cockroach type aliens that can spit out this goo and then crawl on it, I think is really, really sick. I think whoever came up with that pitch, I was like, you should be proud of yourself. That's so much fun. That is so much fun. And I'm putting in A. That's an A tier alien. Did y'all expect Ball Weevil to be in my top 4 Omniverse aliens? Probably not. You probably didn't. I would imagine you didn't. Because I feel like Ball Weevil doesn't get a lot of love. And with that note, hold on. We're gonna go back through just really quickly, just see if there's anything that we think should be moved. Anyone that we think should be moved up, moved down, moved side to side. And you know what? Like Humongous Stone and Swamp Fire, I'm still very much tempted to put them in S because they are my favorites. Out of A, I think Gravitat could also be an S. I think I'm leaving them though. I think there's a reason why they're not in S. I think there's a reason why the characters I have an S. And again, none of the people I have an S were my favorite as a kid. And honestly, they seem right when it's S. As far as just my list, my favorite, my personal. And again, this isn't necessarily about the writing or whatever. This is more so just my favorite aliens. I did want to move down. I was feeling Ultimate Cannibal should be in D. I wasn't feeling like he quite fit in with the C Crowd. C Crowd is the one I feel the worst about. I think Stinkfly could go in B. Forearms could go in B. Goop could go in B. But I think I'm sticking to it. I am kind of thinking about anyone in B. I'm trying to look anyone in B. Because, again, Spider Monkey could easily go in A. So could Echo or Chroma Stone. But you know what? I think I'm sticking to my guns. Even Ghost Freak, man. I feel like Ghost Freak. But I do think for his length, he has to stay there. I think he has to stay. I think I'm going to stick to my guns on this one. I think I'm sticking to my guns, and I'm keeping to my word. How do I get that to go back? There we go. It's back. That being said, we're at the end of the episode. End of episode 85. I want to give a big shout out to everyone who popped in today. SMV came here at the very end. Omniverse is where I started to get picky. Well, that's valid. I think that's very valid. Thank you for Daniel for being here for the majority of the chat, keeping the chat down, talking some Ben 10 with us. Thank you, Exit over here, my amazing co-host, one of my best friends in the whole world, stopping in, even though he's known nothing about Ben 10. He'll be back soon. He might be back soon. We're very excited for that. Benjamin was in the house. Good friend Maddie was in the house for, I'm pretty sure, the first time ever. So thank you, Maddie. I will get you on the show. I'm super excited for that. Lance was in the chat for a little bit. We had Jeffrey at the very start. We've never seen Jeffrey in the chat before. It's so cool to see Jeffrey here. And just, yeah, listen, man. We're officially, honestly, I'm kind of glad we got to do a solo stream. It's been a while since we did a solo stream. I've done it since our 50th episode, where we ranked freaking every TV show I've ever seen. Not really, because I missed a whole bunch. But man, this is fun. It was fun to kind of have another just kind of one-on-one chill episode, just to kind of chill with y'all, talk a little bit. Thank you for all the 85 episodes. Not a short number. It's been really fun getting to this point. Again, 15 away to our 100th episode. Time to start thinking about what I want to do for our 15th episode. Our 100th episode. If you guys are watching this on playback, let me know what you want to see for that 100th episode. What do you think of our ranking? There were some hot takes in there. There were some spicy hot takes. And I would love to see what you would think of them. And what's your favorite Ben 10 alien? And what do you want to see on the show going forward? I should have a video coming out on Saturday. A regular video, not a podcast, an actual video. Crazy, I know. Crazy. Our Monday show, we'll be back talking about the episode 8 of X-Men 97, along with Knuckles, with a very special guest. Pipeline should be back next week. Potentially our co-host back in the house, potentially with a guest. I'm excited, man. We got some fun episodes coming out in May. May already, can't believe it. Yeah, and I think that's going to do it for me. I think we're going to be wrapping up. I think I'm going to go rest my voice, because my voice, it happens every time. Every time I do a solo stream, it's that you're not supposed to talk nonstop for 2 hours straight. Dude, that's not something you're supposed to be doing. And I'd say understandable. I get it. But without further ado, y'all, I will see y'all on the flip side. Bye bye.